I'm Julian Beaver, street artist.
When most people go to new cities, they're looking at the buildings, but half the time I'm looking at the sidewalk.
In this series, I'll be transforming pavements in cities around the world with my 3D chalk drawings.
Oh my gosh, you could actually see like the wings are raising up.
Plus, revealing the secrets of how I do it.
Even faster, you can pour on powder and rub it all in.
And tracking down the world's most prolific street artists.
There's nothing I feel an art teacher could teach me that the streets can't.
I'm in the beautiful city of San Francisco on the west coast of the United States for my latest 3-day 3D challenge. A magnet for America's counterculture, the Beat generation in the 50s, hippies in the 60s, and gay rights in the 70s, this most liberal of American cities not surprisingly has a thriving art scene. A perfect location for my pavement drawing.
What can I draw? Well, I've plenty of choice. Golden Gate Bridge, Alcatraz, or even a cityscape. But first, I've got to find somewhere to draw. San Francisco's famous for its very steep streets, and Lombard Street is perhaps the most famous of them all. I would really have liked to have done a pavement drawing here, and I've looked around for a spot, but all I can find are these steep steps. And to do any sort of pavement drawing, you have to have a flat surface. This is a nice spot in the downtown part of San Francisco where the cable cars turn round. And lots of people, but unfortunately, the surface is all cobbles.
Next stop is south of downtown, in the Mission District, one of the city's most eclectic neighborhoods.
This is Balmy Alley. It's the most famous place in San Francisco for street art. I think it's really good that the city have provided this space, and it's really made the neighborhood a lot more colorful.
With over 600 in the city, San Francisco's mural tradition is rich and diverse, originating from Diego Rivera's work here in the 1940s. The Mission District has the greatest concentration of murals, stemming from the Mexican roots of the local community. The murals began in the mid-80s as artists' outrage over political abuses in Central America, and today's subjects range from human rights to HIV in Africa and local gentrification. But Balmy Alley is yet another cobbled street. Again, no good for me. I head to the pier area, overlooking San Francisco Bay.
This looks like a very nice spot, just in front of one of the piers. I'm going to do a quick test on the sidewalk. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect surface. Plenty of space. Just the sort of place I need. When I choose a drawing, I'm a big kid, really, a little boy. And I like things like dangerous animals, giant insects, all that kind of thing. And when I think of San Francisco, the little boy in me says, earthquake. So that's the idea I've worked on. So I've prepared this sketch here, showing a great big trembling fissure.
My drawing will recreate the powerful San Francisco earthquake of April the 18th, 1906, featuring elements like burst water pipes and even an Edwardian lady caught up in the chaos. I set myself up at Pier 7 and get started.
I find this all very exciting. The little boy in me is really getting going now.
First step is drawing out the main outline.
So here we go then, first chalk marks of this San Francisco earthquake drawing. This is always the slow bit, sorting out the start, getting the main composition in. I am hoping in this drawing to be able to cover a huge space by leaving a lot of space unchalked, but still including it into the picture. As usual, it feels like if I carry on at this speed, the drawing will take about 5 years to do, but This is always the slow bit. It speeds up as it develops. I hope. To get these vertical lines, it's a question of them all going to the same vanishing point. Most artists never have to really use this because we're only looking usually at vertical lines that are straight in front of us and they appear more or less parallel. But if you do have to come all the way down, they will in fact meet under your feet. So in this case, it's under the camera because that's where we're looking from. And that's where all my vertical lines will go to. And I do that by the twanging process where I have a string going to the lower vanishing point. I can now visualise it and see it in the camera as a 3D thing, even though it's only outline.
So what's this ultimately going to be?
It's going to be a...
Water lake?
No, not a water lake, but an earthquake fissure running up this street. Water pipes bursting open, electric wires dangling, Edwardian ladies falling down the gap.
That's incredible. I've seen some pictures of them online, but I've never seen it live.
My interpretation of San Francisco.
In 1906.
Mine's an illusion of a crack.
Right, yeah. As opposed to a freaking wisecrack.
I've seen some on some of the prior work on the internet.
Good.
It's incredible.
Thank you.
Next, I can move on to filling in the colour. But sometimes it's not as easy as it looks.
Damn it. It's very easy with these powder ones to chuck on the wrong colour because you pick up the wrong tin. Usually on the first day, I always have to keep pushing myself and saying, you can't see anything, but just keep going, and on the second day, it'll start to be something. Well, with this drawing, I think it's already started to be something, even at this early stage. You can start to see how the pavement is torn apart, so it is going nicely. I'm filling in some of the gaps between the tiles, the ones which I think are most disturbing the 3D effect of the drawing. I'm using a mixture of sand, plaster, and black pigment. I put the black pigment in so that the plaster matches the paving stone. I am creating more work for myself by doing this because I'll have to chalk over all this plaster, conceal it.
Some art?
Yeah, I'm doing some art here. I'm just covering it up for the night.
Oh, for the night?
Yeah, for the night.
So what kind of art are you trying to make?
3D art.
I'll come back and see you tomorrow.
I've finished for the day, but further downtown, there's some street art on the move. The Mission School art movement, started in the early 90s by San Francisco Art Institute students, is inspired by the bohemian street culture of the Mission District, incorporating elements of graffiti, cartoon and folk art. Dave Warnke's sticker and poster art decorates newspaper boxes, light poles and stations all over the Bay Area. His aim? To brighten the urban landscape with his Keith Haring-inspired images.
I'm taping a cardboard painting of a mutant gopher to a cardboard box that is just laying out here as a piece of garbage on Sutter Street in San Francisco. And the reason I'm doing it is just for fun. I've been doing this kind of stuff since about 1989. People ask me what I'm doing sometimes, but I try to do work that isn't permanent, so I don't really feel like I'm damaging or vandalizing. I feel like I'm trying to enhance the environment or just add something a little goofy and friendly. I'd rather find something on the street that's sort of crappy looking and add some color to it rather than kind of throw my thing on something that's somebody's business or house or looked at as vandalism or destructive. So there aren't big, profound statements behind my art. I'm sort of the class clown or village idiot of like the art world, and I'm proud of that. So the statement or purpose is really just to like brighten things up. You're walking down the street, and you look up and there's a big goofy gopher smiling at you. That's all it is. If it makes you giggle, then I've done my work.
But Dave's goofy gophers don't just appear on the streets.
I love drawing cartoon characters, like little goofy characters. I did that when I was in school, like supposed to do my homework, and now I'm 36 and I'm doing it for a living. And these are just like these little characters, little imaginary characters. These happen to be on stickers. These are all hand done, so like these are just like I have my my marks a lot, and then I use highlighters. So only the cheapest materials. As you can see, a lot of these characters appear in like paintings. So there's sort of a progression, you know. And the way I like to think of it is like, you know, you could take this guy, and he could be a part of the painting, like there. And so he could just come off and then wind up in the street. You sort of bypass all the art world. You just go directly to the people. You bring art directly to them.
I start day 2 feeling good about the drawing's progress, but my confidence is soon shattered.
It looks like it might be a view of that city in North Africa, or Middle East, you know. Oh, dear.
I'm trying to make it out. Tell me what I should be seeing.
Why do you think people need to look through the camera?
Because it looks totally different through the camera.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
Don't you?
I'm trying here. I'm not very creative.
No, maybe it's me that's not being creative
I
enough.
think you're doing a great job, but I'm not sure what it is.
If you don't know what it is, how can it be a great job?
Oh, that's it right there. Oh, yeah. I see the depth now. It took me a minute. Excellent. I can see it.
Thank you.
Not everyone's wired the same. It takes a while to get it into focus, you know.
Sure.
No, I'm sorry, I can't.
Okay, no, don't need to apologize. Another unsatisfied customer, really. Can't see what it is. It's making me feel a bit insecure.
Archway.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get that eventually.
Yeah. I was a little bit disappointed that those people didn't recognize what it was, but I'm hoping that when this is all in shade this evening, or better still, when it's all in shade tomorrow evening and it's all finished, they will just say, "This is awesome. I can see what it is." That's what I'm hoping. Now I'm going to move on to putting a bit more detail into the main chasm here. I want to put in things like burst water pipes, electricity cables, girders, all the kind of things you can imagine must be underneath this surface that, if it tore apart, would become exposed. Here I'm marking in roughly a kind of arched sewage way. I'm imagining that below here there are probably arches with water and sewage running through them. And I'm going to get some water trickling out of there as if it's just been pulled apart, and some rats too. I don't have any reference pictures of rats. I have drawn them before, and they're not quite as easy as you'd think they would be. There isn't all that much room for error. It's the banana syndrome. A banana, you can draw it. You've got a lot of variation in length, of curvature, colour, and it's still a banana. But if you get a rat wrong, you can tell it's not a rat reasonably quickly. Yeah, as I suspected, this rat is not that easy to do. It's looking a little bit more like a mole at the moment. Maybe once the tail's there, it'll look a bit more ratty. That's a bit more ratty. I just made a little mark on its face there, and it suddenly became a rat instead of a mole.
Now the drawing is exposed to the sun, I need to cover up. But I must be doing something right, because at last people are starting to realise what the picture actually is.
Crevice has opened. Here. Perhaps after an earthquake. Whoa!
What? Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm just keeping account of the number of times I've heard these words today. I think I've lost count, actually, but there's some of them.
That is so cool. I said it was really cool. Cool. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's rad, dude.
It's rag, dude.
It's rad.
What?
Oh, it's rad. It's cool.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Interesting. That's nice. Can you see it in 3D?
Yeah, it took me a minute though to see it. Like I couldn't quite see it, and then I got it. No, that's really cool though.
That's really?
Did you make it? Did you draw that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks. There was a cool in there. I'm sure there was a cool.
But now, back to the job in hand.
I would say this lady is going to be the focal point, really, the thing of all the things that your eye will return to, because of course it's human interest, it's drama, and I'm going to try and put her into Edwardian style clothes, so that this is in a way a commemoration of the 1906 earthquake. I'd like the woman just to be looking back over her shoulder so that we can see at least some of her face. So that's my guess. That's my guess of what the face will look like. I'm now going to check it. It's probably going to be wrong, and I'll probably have to change it. But that head is still a bit too big for the body. I think the angle's more or less right, but the size isn't. I always find it hard to get people's heads looking backwards like this, even when it's not an anamorphic drawing, even if it's just a sketch. But doing it on the pavement with the distortion added as well, I find it quite tricky. Let's look at that. This face is proving to be a bit of a stumbling block at the moment. I don't seem to be able to get it right. I'm trying moving the whole head up a bit. That's the problem when you do trial and error work. You can trial it, and if it's an error, you have to change it every time, and there's no guarantee you'll ever get it right.
Whilst I'm struggling, over in the Mission District, one of the new Mission School artists is about to get mural painting. Commercial illustrator and art instructor Sirron Norris calls his distinctive signature style cartoon literalism.
I made educational software, so primarily just entertainment video games. But I would do these things on the side, and this was my first piece, actually. Working doing educational art and video games, you have to be very nice, and your palette has to be clean, and everything has to be thought out and cute, and it can't be scary. But I had an urge to do this kind of very lascivious, very edgy, very scary kind of work. So what I ended up doing is I made about 4 or 5 of these paintings, basically all monochromatic, grayed characters kind of stuck in this kind of montage thing. I think primarily it's because I really wasn't all that secure with my cartoons, so what I would do is hide certain images together and form these big images out of insecurity. But what it did is it made this nice kind of image that people could have their eyes flow around and find new things out.
Sirron has also created numerous murals, one of which is on Balmy Alley.
So I was riding my skateboard past this convenience store that was always tagged right on the corner of Bryant and 20th. And one day I went in there and asked the owner if he was interested in having that wall painted. He wanted a design, so I made him a design. He was down with it, and he gave me $800, which was a lot of money back then to paint a mural. And I painted it. And that mural really kind of got me started and kind of got me a lot more opportunities to kind of paint murals here in the Mission. I've been working in Balmy Alley for about 3.5, 4 years. That mural that I had up here for 3.5 years was an autobiographical mural. It was a mural about my life. It was kind of fitting that I would paint over it with something, obviously, that doesn't have really much to do about my life and kind of has more of a statement along the lines of the mission's philosophy.
Back at Pier 7, the Edwardian lady in my chalk drawing has really progressed.
I'm just coming to the last detail on my hanging lady, which is the hands. I haven't got them quite right yet, but the rest of the body is. Hands are always hard for me. not just doing the hand, but making the hand articulate onto the arm properly. I always find that a challenge. So that's what I'm working on now. I've extended the crack a long way back now, over 12 meters, and it's all looking good. Well, happy days are here again. Security van has parked right across my drawing. Now he's going to drive over it. Now he's going to reverse back onto it again. He's highly trained, this guy. Maybe he'll just leave great big tyre marks all the way across it. Look at that. He's going back over it again.
What to do it?
Well,
You want to video this?
you're just driving across my drawing and making tyre marks all across the street.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
No?
Okay.
I can't believe he did that. I mean, going over it once is all right, but to stop and go back and then go forwards. It's been a good day. I've got a lot done. So I'm going to cover it up and protect it from the wind. Tomorrow evening, 8 o'clock, it should be completely finished, perfected, and awesome. It's 1:30. I'm starting a lot later than usual because it isn't till 7 o'clock in the evening that the light conditions are right for taking that final photograph. You can really see how windy it is. That's one of the second major problems in pavement drawing. Okay, the rain is the obvious one, but wind blowing the chalk off can be really quite a problem.
Overlooking San Francisco Bay may look great, but over the course of the past 3 days, this strong wind really hasn't helped me, although kindly skateboarders have. But the wind's also affecting the drawing.
The lady survived perfectly well, but like quite a lot of the rest of this picture, she's faded a bit. What's happening is with the wind, I tend to lose contrast. All the really black bits become a bit greyer, and all the really light bits become a bit greyer. The reason the darkest points are important is because you create a feeling of depth by having things in shade. If it looks really black, it looks as if there's no light falling on it and it's hidden in the depths of the cavern. If you can't get that black to be very black, it won't look as if it's so deep in the shade. And there's plenty of interest here today. I've already had about half a dozen awesomes and 2 or 3 cools.
When I kind of just like walked by, it almost looked like it was kind of like a river kind of thing, you know?
Is that what you thought it was?
Not really. I knew there had to be something to it. That's why I wanted to see what the camera...
It just seems strange. And then what happened when you looked through the camera?
It looks like 3D almost. You know, it looks like you're looking like, and you're watching a person, you know what I mean? Like, it looks so cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Like, I'm so impressed right now.
Well, cool is in the lead over awesome at the moment.
From the other side, it doesn't look like anything. You just don't know what it is. You have no idea.
I've seen these through email. People have emailed me pictures. I've never actually seen one done, the 3D art.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, now you've seen one in reality.
Exactly.
It really does look like she's hanging on there for dear life.
Yeah.
I'm amazed. The details and everything. It is very, very nice.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Merci bien. Okay, you hold that. Now just continue that line along there so that it carries on straight. That's it. Bit more there, look, in that gap. No, don't go off there. Keep it in a line like that. You know, it's going along there. That's it. Yeah. Have you done this before?
Wow, this is fun.
You're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Good work. Thank you. And I think that's as far as I'm going to go. That's the end of this San Francisco fault. And there we have it. The earthquake fault.
With the last element of the drawing complete, I can finally reveal my 3D earthquake pavement fault to the people of San Francisco. I just hope they're going to like it.
I want some more people falling over. I'd like you sort of like that, because you've just fallen from the shock. Can I have some more falling people? Come on, okay, this way. Maybe you two fell together over here, like this. Okay, it's earthquake scenario. No smiling, right? You're really frigging freaked out here. No, that's too much. This is the result of 3 days' work. The San Francisco earthquake drawing here in San Francisco. Now remember, you are Americans, you are very expressive. Let your feelings go as we come to the final reveal of this three-dimensional anamorphic drawing. So guys, what do you think of this drawing here? The sun has gone down and it's all in shadow. For the first time today, it really now looks at its best. It's gone a long way up the street. I've claimed a lot of space here, and it's more or less what I imagined before I started. So I am happy with that.
Amazing.
My girlfriend just emailed me all your pictures, and here you are in person. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Nice. Wow.
I've managed to go 28 meters up the street, and that's the longest drawing I've ever done. Whatever you think of this drawing, it's all my fault, my California earthquake fault, and I just hope that this never really happens in San Francisco again.
What have you always wanted to do and you haven't had a chance to do yet? And I just blurted out, I want to build a wooden boat.